This is the condition of the perishing. They are spiritually blind. They are spiritually dead. They are slaves of the devil. They are slaves of sin. They are children of wrath who are unable to please God, and they hate God because they love sin. What summer blockbuster movie are you going to talk about in church that's going to transform a person like that? What sporting event are you going to use to take someone who's in this condition and transform them? What are you going to find in that person that's going to draw them innately to Jesus Christ? There's no movie, there's no sporting event, there's no barbecue, there's no comedian, there's no lighting, there's no stage effects, there's no manipulation. There's no gimmick that can change the heart of those who are perishing. You can't convince someone who is perishing that the gospel is wise. When Paul says in 1 Corinthians 1:18 that the word of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, the reason is not because the gospel is not enough to save. It's not because the gospel is deficient. It's because the heart of the unbeliever by nature is opposed to Christ. And the problem is not that preaching is outdated or irrelevant, or the word of God is difficult to understand or connect to the unconverted, or we just need to do something that will make them like us more. The problem is the unconverted person has a stubborn, sinful, dead, blind, rebellious heart. Now, when we think about that, we might feel the weight of that and say, was there any hope then? I mean, if that is the condition of the perishing, are we just wasting our time? I mean, is there any hope for these people? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, there is hope. There is hope for those who are perishing. You see, all of us who love Christ today, at one time were those who were perishing, and we hated him. And now we are among those who are being saved. And we recognize that the power that changed us from haters of God to lovers of God wasn't something that someone did. It was the message of the cross. The very message that we found to be foolish and moronic one day changed our hearts. And we saw in it the wisdom of God. It is the word of the cross that opens the eyes of the blind and raises the spiritually dead to life. It is the word of the cross that sets the captives of sin and Satan free. It is the word of the cross that transforms a child of wrath into a child of God. It is the word of the cross that transforms a heart from being unable to please God to singing, "Lover of my soul, I want to live for you." It is the word of the cross that changes a person who hates God into a person who loves God and would be willing to die for Christ. It's the word of the cross that transforms sinners